Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to Late Night Real Estate. I'm your host, Joshua Allen. Today, we're going to be taking a little trip in time and we're going to be looking at the home of the future with the late and great Grant Imahara of Mythbusters. Rest in peace, Grant. Anyways, without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, here we go. We have a holographic computer. That's cool.
Future. It's been a dream for decades, but can we build one right here in Austin, Texas? The Virgin Curve.
Okay, so it looks like they're starting this in Austin, Texas. That's a really interesting place. We've seen a lot of commerce and things starting to come out our way. We even have HBO now shooting TV shows in our local hometowns.
We want to see if some of the latest smart home systems.
Okay, we got the Ring doorbell. That's a check.
Can create a more secure
okay, a solar panel pergola.
Actually improve our daily living.
Keyless entry doorway.
Build this home of the future? Well, it all begins in a factory.
Ah, taking homes to the factory.
In East Texas, construction company Evolution builds roughly 85% of its houses inside this 265,000 square foot warehouse.
Wow, that's pretty massive, 265,000 square feet.
These fully constructed modular units can be finished in 1/3 of the time it takes to build a house on site. The power of prefabs, or prefabricated homes, is that they can be mass-produced without compromising quality design and structural stability.
Okay, so I know that prefab homes have a lot of stigma around them. Which side of the fence do you land on? Do you think that they're a good idea? Or do you think that they do still lack in quality because of the way that they're laid out and produced before they ever touch the ground?
Bigger than most. And instead of cars, it's houses. How long does it take from when a slab comes in to the finish line?
We have 17 stations. If we were doing one box a day, you could have a complete box in anywhere from 5 to 6 days.
Wow, 5 to 6 days. That's faster than you can get your license back from the DMV. How crazy is that? You can have a home before you can have a driver's license.
Then wiring and plumbing. It goes from station to station, to sheetrock, the top is placed on, until there you have it, a complete unit.
Yeah, it's a complete unit, all right.
Technically, Luna House is a prefabricated home. For me, at least, when I first heard about prefabricated homes, I have this idea that they're cheap or low quality. Where do you think that that comes from?
I think a lot of it comes from certainly post-World War II era, and the association as well with prefab, with modular housing, which we also associate with the mobile home. So you have that kind of connection.
Yeah, interestingly enough, post-World War II, America actually had another economical housing boom along with the baby boom, so that's the reason as to why all the prefab housing became very popular, because they needed more homes than existed at the time.
Much more precise control over manufacturing in particular is what enables the greater quality. And so by going factory built, you have an opportunity not only for higher quality control, but the opportunity to use much higher end materials because they can be protected in the factory in a way that they're not going to be as protected on a home build.
Okay, so I really do like that point that she draws in, because nowadays you can drive by a lot of home building sites and see that wood is stacked out and laid out for months on end. So who's to say that some of the wood, hasn't been affected in some sort of way? Now I understand that most of the lumber that is used now is treated, but still, I mean, there's that 1% of error in there.
A problem with one house can delay all the other projects behind it. In fact, our original house was delayed so long that we needed to switch to a house further along the line. But even with delays like these, the total amount of time from blueprint approval to completion is around 6 months on average, whereas a typical on-site construction could have taken up to a year.
Architects have actually been trying to...
Wow, so they can cut the home building process nearly in half with these prefabs. That's pretty quick.
Traction and some popularity in the last decade with the increasing popularity of design. I think in a general level, that happens with Apple, it happens in the popular press. And
in everyday life.
In everyday life, and so I think that that's kind of transmitted over to architecture as well.
Architect Chris Krager is
Shout out The Verge for putting this video together for us. Really awesome content to watch.
Here at his home.
Our business was founded with a primary goal of making modern, that kind of architecture, financially accessible.
The design we're building is called the Luna House floor plan, made of 3 modular pieces. Modular design means these units can be configured in multiple arrangements. They can even be stacked to create multiple floors. You could think of them like big Lego blocks that an architect can use to create the best design for the needs of the homeowner. Our house is composed of 3 main pieces. One large module that includes 1 bedroom, kitchen, and living room, and a smaller module that has...
Yeah, I don't know. If I had a modular home, I would probably customize it to look like a french fry, because I'd want to live in a home made of french fries.
We're working with a framework that I think is amenable to open floor plans, lots of windows, and so I think it is very modern friendly.
I think it'd be cool to put windows on a french fry, don't you?
Fixtures and finishes, flooring. There's definitely adequate room for customization with the finish in the house.
I gotta say, I knew that it was modular construction, but it really didn't feel like it.
That is our goal with the design, for it to feel not just like not a modular house, but to feel like an architect designed house.
If you were to drive on this block, you'd say, oh, I think an architect designed that. So it automatically ups its cachet.
But there's still a lot of hurdles before you can really think of this kind of construction as being the future of home building.
When you deal with something that's pre-manufactured, there's a tremendous amount of upfront costs in setting up that type of manufacturing, particularly if you want to get the economies of scale of building large. If we think about single-family homes, there is very little upfront investment. You can basically build in real time in terms of procurement of materials. So the costs are incremental from that standpoint.
Yeah, she proves a pretty good point right there.
While we wait to see what the future will hold,
but if you build your home to be a french fry, then it's probably not an economical issue.
Right now, though, it's still just a shell. Over the next few months, we'll work to finish off everything inside of the home, create our own power generation and storage, and fill it with the latest connected technology.
There we go. Here's the good part.
Convenience. It'll be hard work, but in the end, we'll get a glimpse into what it
I want that holographic keyboard. That's what I want.
Inside the home of the future. Thank you so much for watching. Now I'm sitting here in our home of the future, but I'm curious to know what you think you need in your home of the future.
Well, Grant, I couldn't be happier that you asked, because I need a french fry home with a holographic keyboard. That's all I need. That's all I want for Christmas, and I'm glad that Christmas is almost here. Okay, so the prefab thing. Do you think that that's something that's really going to come to fruition, or is that something that's still going to be kind of sitting on the back burner? In my own personal opinion, I think there's small touches that they could do to it to really bring the homes together. If you take a look at the slab, realistically what they could have done is they could have gone back with some sort of stone, or, put in some really nice flower bed, just to kind of cover up the fact that it still does look a little bit like a prefabbed home. So I feel like if they did a little bit more aesthetically pleasing things on the outside of the home, I think it could be a real viable option for a lot of people. And I heard that there's supposed to be that home site in Austin, so I'm going to do some research and see if I can't find it. Anyways, that's all I've got for you guys today. Thank you so much for tuning in to Late Night Real Estate, and I'll catch you on the next one.